Ja, liebe Freunde der bioRe Stiftung, geschätzte Spender, dear colleagues in India and Tanzania. Es freut mich, euch alle an unserem bioRe Jahresanlass begrüßen zu dürfen. A warm welcome to all of you. Die Covid-Pandemie hat uns alle herausgefordert. Am intensivsten die Bauernfamilien in Indien. Gerade deshalb ist es für uns wichtig, nach vorne zu blicken und unsere Anstrengungen weiter zu erhöhen, um eine bessere, lebenswerte Zukunft für die Menschen in den bioRe-Regionen möglich zu machen. Unsere gemeinnützigen Projekte sollen eine wirkungsvolle Grundlage bilden für eine intakte Umwelt und eine gerechte Gesellschaft. Die großzügige Unterstützung von Ihnen allen macht dies möglich. Dafür möchte ich Ihnen allen herzlich danken. Ich übergebe nun an Xenia.
Danke, Jörg. A warm welcome also from my side. I'm Xenia Ritter, responsible for communication and fundraising at the bioRe Foundation Switzerland. Today's event will be a language hybrid. The first part will be the conversation with Monika Tobler and Jörg Peritz in German. In the second part, we will conduct the conversations with our project leaders from India and Tanzania in English, but the slides will give the key information in German. This event is being recorded and will be published on the YouTube channel of the bioRe Foundation Switzerland. And with this, I would like also to welcome and introduce today's participants of this year's annual event of the bioRe Foundation. The president of bioRe Foundation, Jörg Peritz, Monika Tobler, the new managing director of bioRe Foundation Switzerland, Vivek Raval, the CEO of bioRe India Ltd, Ashish Joshi, social head of bioRe Association India, Marco Paul, co-CEO of bioRe Tanzania Ltd, and Justina Samson, social head of bioRe Foundation Tanzania. Thank you all very much for participating in this event, and I look very much forward to the exchanges in the next hour. Without further ado, I hand over to Jörg and Monika. Jörg, du hast das Wort.
Hallo Monika.
Hallo Jörg.
Du bist nun seit Anfang Mai als Geschäftsführerin in unserer Stiftung tätig. Du bist ja ausgebildete Biologin. Wie bist du zur bioRe Stiftung gekommen?
Ja, danke vielmals. Ein herzliches Willkommen von meiner Seite. Nach dem Studium habe ich eigentlich mein ganzes Berufsleben in der Entwicklungszusammenarbeit gearbeitet, viel an der Schnittstelle zwischen Entwicklung und Umweltschutz, aber auch zu anderen Themen wie Trinkwasserversorgung oder Fragen zur Gleichstellung von unterschiedlichen Bevölkerungsgruppen. Die Unterstützung von Kleinbäuerinnen und Kleinbäuern war ein zentraler Aspekt meiner Arbeit in verschiedenen Organisationen. Nach dem Berufseinstieg bei der Helvetas arbeitete ich für die UNO-Organisation für Landwirtschaft und Ernährung in Burkina Faso. Dort umfasste mein Projektportfolio Bauernschulen für die nachhaltige Produktion von Landwirtschaftsprodukten und sogenannte Non-Timber Forest Products. Das sind Waldprodukte, die nicht Holz sind, also zum Beispiel Früchte oder Pilze. Bei dieser Arbeit kam ich auch zum ersten Mal mit dem Baumwollanbau in Kontakt. Ich leitete ein Bauernausbildungsprojekt, um den nachhaltigen Anbau von Baumwolle voranzutreiben. Und das in einer Zeit, in der die Regierung von Burkina Faso gerade mit genveränderten Varianten experimentierte. Anschließend war ich 7 Jahre an der EAWAG. Das ist das Wasserforschungsinstitut der ETH, und dort war ich verantwortlich für ein breites Portfolio an Trinkwasserprojekten in Afrika. Das Departement, in dem ich angegliedert war, befasste sich aber auch mit Hygieneaspekten und sanitären Anlagen im globalen Süden. Und so habe ich fundiertes Fachwissen in diesen Themenbereichen gewinnen können. Ja, bevor ich zu bioRe kam, arbeitete ich fast 8 Jahre beim WWF. Dort leitete ich eine Reihe von Programmen, die sich auf die Verbesserung von Wertschöpfungsketten konzentrieren. Zum Beispiel in Vietnam, wo die Verminderung von Wasserverschmutzung durch Textilverarbeitungsfirmen im Zentrum stand. Oder in Madagaskar, wo wir Produzentinnen und Produzenten von Biolandwirtschaftsprodukten an internationale Wertschöpfungsketten angebunden haben. Die Schnittstelle zwischen Umweltschutz, Landwirtschaft und Entwicklungsmöglichkeiten für die lokale Bevölkerung begeistert mich. Und genau diesen Aspekt hat die bioRe Stiftung zum Ziel und deshalb freue ich mich ganz besonders, jetzt für die bioRe Stiftung tätig sein zu dürfen.
Ja, vielen Dank. Du bringst wirklich einen großen Erfahrungsschatz mit zu uns in die bioRe Stiftung. Interessant ist natürlich, die Zukunft zu gestalten als Geschäftsführerin. Was planst du? Hast du die konkrete Pläne schon bereits für die Zukunft der Stiftung?
Ich glaube, um die Nachhaltigkeitsziele der UNO zu erreichen, reicht es eben nicht, Bekanntes besser oder schneller zu machen. Wir müssen Dinge neu und auch ganz anders machen. Und das Nutzen von Synergien zwischen nachhaltiger Wertschöpfungskette auf der einen Seite und philanthropischen Projekten auf der anderen Seite ist meines Erachtens zentral, um diese Entwicklung voranzutreiben. Ich bin überzeugt, dass der Bioanbau von Baumwolle und anderen Produkten zusammen mit ergänzenden Projekten eine spürbare Verbesserung bei den Menschen bewirken kann und gleichzeitig die Umwelt schützt. Die Stiftung hat im März ihre neue Strategie verabschiedet. Dabei stehen in der internationalen Arbeit 3 Themen im Zentrum. Erstens natürlich die Biolandwirtschaft, also Themen rund um den Anbau der Baumwolle, aber auch sicher Forschung, Schulung, nicht zuletzt Projekte zur Erhaltung der lebenswichtigen Ökosysteme. Aber dazu dann mehr von Marco, dem CEO, dem Co-CEO der bioRe Limited in Tansania im zweiten Teil dieser Veranstaltung. Der zweite Schwerpunkt liegt bei der Bildung und Gesundheit mit Schulprojekten, Wasserbrunnen oder unserem Gesundheitsbus. Hier werden wir also die wichtige Arbeit, die bisher geleistet wurde, weiterführen im gleichen Sinne. Und drittens fördern wir Projekte, um Menschen ein zusätzliches Einkommen zu generieren. Dabei werden Klein- und Kleinstunternehmen gefördert, insbesondere Frauengruppen. Zum Beispiel möchten wir gerne aktuell eine Frauengruppe unterstützen beim Kauf einer Sonnenblumenölpresse, damit sie ein kleines Geschäft aufbauen können, das einen spürbaren Mehrwert für die Familienkasse bringt. Da sind wir aber noch auf Fundraising.
Gut, vielen herzlichen Dank, Monika, für die wertvollen Ausführungen. Und ich wünsche dir weiterhin viel Freude und auch Erfolg in dieser Verantwortung.
Danke.
Und ich gebe das Wort weiter an Xenia.
Danke, Jörg. And thank you very much, Monica and Jörg, for this interesting introduction. From Switzerland, we moved directly to India. We have been following the COVID situation in India with great concern in recent weeks. With a call for donations on beginning of May, the bioRe Foundation launched an emergency relief campaign to support the bioRe cotton community in the devastating COVID wave in India. 15 oxygen concentrators as the most urgent help for the COVID patients with respiratory problems in the region were organized within a week, and thanks to the great donation response and solidarity from our network, the COVID Cell program was launched as an emergency program of the bioRe Mobile Hospital, which provides additional services and helps the people in need in the current crisis situation. We now have the opportunity to hear more about it directly from our project partners in India, and Monica will guide these conversations.
Thank you very much, Xenia. Yes, you know it, India was hit very hard recently with incredible high incidence of COVID-19. And this must have been extremely challenging for everyone. Vivek, you are in charge of bioRe India. Can you tell us more how you experienced the situation?
Thank you, Monica. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, India, basically India has been hit by COVID very hard. India saw its first COVID-19 patient in January 2020 when some of the Indian students were have been evacuated from Wuhan, China. This was exactly the time I was in Switzerland for meeting with foundation and Remai. When India had handful of COVID positive cases, the country had no production of PPE kits. There were hardly less than 50 labs, testing labs were operational. And also the capacity to produce medical oxygen was also limited because that was the requirement. It was around 2,000 tons per day capacity what India had. And we as a nation were importing ventilators and important medical equipments from world over. In few months time, as the months progress, India saw a gigantic scale of COVID positive cases, and already by September last year, we already had around 100,000 patients per day recorded. That was part of the first wave in India, and this was slowly subsidized in a way, subside over the months. Then again, starting from month of March this year, the second wave hit India, and that was quite a big wave. And we as a nation almost reached 400,000 patients per day on 30th of April. The total number of deaths recorded in India officially is over 390,000 until now. And nearly 300 million people have been affected with COVID from India. And these are all official records. Maybe a lot of people have not been, not gone for testing. Also, many of them have died who were not been tested positive, but actually had COVID. The second, this number is basically second highest number in the world after US. There was a time when people were struggling on roads and in front of hospitals for the need of oxygen, because the oxygen was in shortage, because we were only producing nearly 2,000 tons what was needed for the country for the routine for the routine health services, but our demand rose to 9,000 tons per day. Every Indian family, almost all of us present here from India, someone from us was affected, either us directly or our family members or friends. I myself, along with my wife and 8 years old daughter, we were all three of us were COVID positive, and I was almost on bed for nearly 2.5 weeks. Many of our staff members were also affected. Nearly 200 farmers have reported to have the symptoms of COVID. Some of them were also tested positive, and 17 of them have been died of COVID. Unfortunately, even the president of bioRe Association, Madanlal Khandelwal, who was 27 years with us as bioRe farmer, died of COVID last month. Our region was badly affected. That was also one reason why we are affected, is that we are close to Maharashtra, which has been the epicenter of COVID in India, and we are a bordering district, so we were of course affected much more, because a lot of migrant laborers were passing by, and also a lot of communication or relationship we have with bordering district of Maharashtra. The government took several steps to manage COVID situation in India. The whole of the country was put in lockdown already for 100 days in first wave, starting from 25th of March last year. In the second wave, we were also almost for lockdown for nearly 30 to 40 days. Only, last week only we got relaxation in the unlock situation now. As a country, if you see from that point of view, yes, the size, whatever we have in India is all big because we are 1.3 billion people. So if we have a problem like pandemic, it will be also a huge scale. And it was the situation with COVID also. With countries like ours had only 50, as I said, that only 50 labs, but within 1 year itself, now we have around 1,300 plus testing labs. The entire production of industrial oxygen was converted into medical oxygen, and the entire oxygen crisis was managed, but it was still for 15 to 20 days. The situation was very difficult. India has also introduced its own vaccine, and by now, by today, I think almost 300 million doses of vaccination have been already given to Indians. This is almost as big as the entire population of United States. If we see from this point of view, but these were the situation. Now it's already improved from pandemic's point of view, the second wave, but there is also scientific community and experts are saying that we might also be facing third wave very soon. COVID, in my view, has hit all aspects of life and all facets of life, and the overall growth of the country is now in negative figures, except the agriculture, which is the only area which was in positive figure. It was around 3.4% positive growth if we see the data of the financial year 2020-21. The pandemic situation has actually wreaked a substantial physical, social, and economic havoc for all the stakeholders in agriculture systems. If you just see from our point of view, when the lockdown was implemented by the government of India, it was month of March, and in month of March, farmers normally, harvest the wheat and then they prepare the land for next crop. In April, May, we had the complete lockdown situation. That is the time when we organize our seeds for farmers. Seeds are processed, packed, and also sent for GMO testing. So we had great difficulty in organizing seeds. We could not reach to farmers. Last year, the same situation we faced. This year also, exactly on the time when we are supposed to distribute seeds, the government implemented lockdown situation. But we already had last year's experience. So we were quite prepared this year compared to last year. But last year it was quite a drastic situation for us because, we were lucky to have our own GMO testing lab. Otherwise, all our seeds would have not been tested at all for GMO because all the GMO testing labs in India were closed. Also, approaching farmers was quite difficult because in many villages, people had put up voluntary lockdown for the village so that outsiders were not allowed to enter in village. So things were not very comfortable for the field staff. Also, their families had also concerns that if you go out, you might get infection and bring that infection into family. So there were a lot of, I think, efforts we had to put in place to actually undertake our routine activities because our large activities are in the field. So we have to go and meet people, otherwise we can't actually do anything. It's a similar situation, but little better than last year as far as services are concerned. But from fear perspective in the minds of the staff or the farmers or community in general is much more severe than last year. So we are already in this situation, but now during last 2 weeks, we are still much better than what was the situation in month of April and May. And we hope that we don't face the third wave, which seems to be very dangerous with Delta plus strain of virus.
Thank you very much, Vivek, for these explanations. Xenia has mentioned before the COVID cell program. What has the COVID cell program done to support the families in the villages we work?
We actually, I mean, since last year, we both bioRe Association and bioRe India have been working with our farmers and community to whatever extent we are possible, especially on the side of making awareness generation. But with support of now with this second wave, with support of bioRe Foundation and support of all who are present here and our donors, and the campaign which bioRe Foundation implemented, we started a dedicated COVID cell through our mobile hospital. And in this program, we have developed a kind of holistic approach that we do not only cater to one aspect, but try to touch as many as aspects possible to prevent and protect people from COVID. One part is on awareness side, where we are making people aware about the appropriate behavior, COVID behavior, and also hand sanitization, keeping hygiene, how to keep immunity at your level and family level. That is one part of the awareness generation. Second part is providing suspected people and also COVID patients diagnostic services which are due to them, so that they can identify that or get diagnosed that they have COVID. So bioRe Mobile Health Unit is undertaking free of cost diagnostic services, where we have included X-rays as well as required pathological tests for detection of COVID. So that is one part for diagnosing the COVID situation in case we get a patient. Then comes the next situation where if any patient is already detected or being suspected of having COVID, so if we suspect that somebody has COVID, so we provide him guidance to go and get the test done for COVID, and also we provide them a preventive medical kit having a medication for 7 days and also some masks and hand sanitizer, so that because a lot of people do not have access to diagnostic services, because the size is too big that I mean, there was a time I went with somebody of my family to go for diagnosis. There were more than 300 patients on one of the diagnostic centers. So we took a token, and only third day we got our term to go and get the diagnostic services. So it was very helpful for the people who got free of cost services at bioRe Mobile Hospital under this program. And after the medication, in case still people have some issues that they are not getting oxygen beds, because oxygen was really a nightmare during April and May in the entire India. Also in our region, there was a problem. So whoever has a requirement, we have 15 oxygen concentrators which are available to them. Some of them we have already provided into COVID care center, and some are with the mobile health units COVID care cell, where government has given us a dedicated space in Kasrawat town where these services are operated from. And then last, we also have a service in case somebody has no vehicle or transportation possibility to go from COVID care center to the district hospital, or from our place, our station to the COVID care center. Then we also have special permission taken from the local authority that we have small vans of bioRe public school. So these small buses are converted into temporary ambulance, so that the patients can be transported to the hospital. So we try to, through this program, touch upon most of the aspect where people either are not getting proper services, or due to certain reasons of the number of patients or non-availability, they are not getting the services. So we are trying to provide these services and we continue to do so. Also, in case the third wave come, I hope that it doesn't come, but if it comes, we are prepared with these services to support the local administration and people who are in need of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivek. It's very, very impressive what you have achieved to help the families. COVID not only threatens the health of the people, it also poses problems to schooling of children. A difficult year lays behind you and schools were closed, as you said. The bioRe Association India has found an innovative way to continue school program. Ashish, you're heading the bioRe Association. Can you tell us more about what you have done?
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Good evening, all of you. As per the nationwide lockdown in India, all schools were closed last year in 2020. While the lockdown period, children stayed at their home because there were no school. So in this situation, most of the schools tried to convert the classrooms education into virtual education through online classes. But in remote areas where we are operating our animation schools, the reality is very different because rural India did not have access to a smartphone of the parents. Many of the parents, they are not afford this kind of Android phone and internet facility. So they are not equipped with this kind of facility. If some parents they have access, then the parents were not able to pay for internet for regular online classes. So in this type of difficult situation, we want to continue with our animation school children, and we think that how we can continue provide the education to our children. So in this type of situation, bioRe Association initiate a school at home campaign for animation school children. And this campaign we started in July 2020. In this campaign, we take the academic classes at their home or community place where children can come very easily. We teach the student in a pair or group learning. Our teacher go to the door to door and he collect the students for learning. So they can collect in a group, or some of the villages they can collect at farmer's house. So they can continue with their lessons and teaching plan at their houses. We reduce the curriculum as per their subjects in Hindi, mathematics, and every subject. And we got that in the end of the session, we got that around 70% of the students, they are benefited through this special campaign. And we found that while this school at home campaign, that students, they forgetting their abilities which they learned in the past year as per their subjects. So we focus or we concentrate their previous learning things which can they can continue with our this special campaign.
Thank you very much, Ashish. Schools are still closed. We don't know when they will reopen. What have you learned in the past year that you now use to continue that program?
Yes, this coronavirus pandemic is teaching us that how we can manage our plan, or we can continue with our children and our schools. And we learn that how we can do work with collective efforts, because community people and parents, they are also appreciate our these efforts, that your teachers can come at the village and he collect the children and he provide all the copies, books and materials at their door to door, and they are continue teach the students in pair learning and group learning, and they at least they can get the minimum level of the learning. So there will be not a huge learning loss for all the children which are associated with our animation school program. And every crisis time, this disaster bring the new opportunities, new ideas, and new things which can bring towards our good efforts. So this learn so many things this difficult time which we create plan, and I hope that if school will not open this year, so we can also initiate this special campaign in this year also.
Thank you very much, Ashish, and also thank you very much, Vivek, for these insights into your work. We are now changing continents and heading to Africa and to our project country, Tanzania. We regularly hear about the issue of deforestation in Africa. Also, climate change is posing real challenges to the people. Marco, you are in charge of bioRe Tanzania. Can you tell us how the situation looks like in Tanzania and the villages we work in?
Yeah, thank you very much, Monica. Yeah, actually in Tanzania, the challenge of climate change is obvious. The tradition of the community in our area is normally to keep the large herds of cows and goats. At the same time, the deforestation continues to the large extent by the increasing population density. Now, these two factors causes a big risk on soil erosion across the large surface area in our areas.
Thank you. How are farmers suffering from the situation?
Yeah, this climate change, of course, affects the farmers and the people around the communities. There are several factors which are now, effects which are appearing to the farmers. Now, this includes we have the reduced amount of rain due to the deforestation which is going on. We find, as I have said, and the photos show that there's an increased soil erosion due to poor covers of the soil surfaces. We have poor soil fertility due to less organic matters, due to lack of vegetations, decreased water level in the soil surfaces like river, dams, and lakes. And also we have the effect on increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Hence now it causes the temperature increase. Now, to combat these challenges, the reforestation program is the best solution, where farmers can enjoy the incomes like beekeeping and improve the soil quality.
Yes, talking about reforestation program, a research study for reforestation project was carried out by university in cooperation with you and organic farmers. Can you tell us a bit more about what exactly was done and what the objectives of the new projects are?
Yeah, the research team from America, they did their research and now they want to start the initial program of the project. So now we will start with the pilot of the program in some of our villages, where now some farmers will use one acre of their land to plant trees. These trees will be protected with some fences so that the animal cannot eat and the young cannot eat the young plants, since animals are the big challenges in this program. But another challenge in our area is water scarcity. In the dry period of the year, the people in the villages doesn't have enough drinking water. So watering of plants become difficult due to water problem. That's why many plants doesn't grow into big trees. But the solution with the fence that we are planning to have will create now a microclimate which will be the self-sufficient and not need extra watering. Within now, after this whole thing they have been done, so I'm sure that within the several years, then our farmers and the community will enjoy small forestry around our villages.
Thank you very much, Marco, for this interesting report about the new project addressing deforestation and climate change issues in Tanzania. Any more important aspect for the farming families in Tanzania is access to drinking water. Justina, you're responsible for the social projects in organic cotton farming communities in Tanzania. and the water projects are one of the most important areas of your work. Can you tell us about the issue of scarcity of water in the villages we work?
Thank you very much, Monica. Associated with the monsoon, when it rains, the rivers flood, and when it does not rain, there is a big water shortage for months. People in the villages walk long distances from midnight and come back in the morning fetching water for drinking and other domestic uses. They obtain water by scooping sand and from the rivers or from other local sources. Moreover, this water is not of good quality for drinking. Having water wells in the villages where they live is a big improvement in their living conditions and their daily activities. One water well can save up around 40 families. And lastly, but not least, many well-wishers have donated wells for the communities in our project area. We are very grateful for their support. I take this opportunity to thank you, them all.
Thank you, Justina. In maternal wards, the situation is particularly challenging. The availability of clean water is crucial for the health of mother and children. And so far, family members had to fetch water from the nearby river, and mothers giving birth at night had to wait till the morning to get water. In the past months, you have started a new innovative project to address the issue. What is the solution you found for the maternal ward?
For the maternity ward in Ibuliash village, the construction of rain harvesting tanks is planned to provide easy access of clean water. In dry season, additional river water will be obtained from constructed water point along the riverside and transported by ox cart to the dispensary as shown in the visual on the slide. Since the quality of water is not good, the purification system will be installed and run continuously. But due to power interruption in our area, solar panels and the batteries for filter will be solution on that. The implementation work for the project is in progress. We are very excited to see how will these new water tanks will improve the work in the maternity ward, but also the well-being of the mothers and their newborn. This project has been done jointly with Aquapura. Special thanks for their big support.
Thank you, Justina. I hand over to Xenia.
Thank you, Justina, also from my side for giving us this insight into the challenges behind such a water project. All these short reports from our project partners give us also a little insight into the daily challenges they face and underline even more the importance of their continuous and amazing work and success despite these challenges. And thank you, Vivek, Ashish, Marco, and Justina for sharing. And you are the ones who deserve a big round of applause now. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all our supporters, members, donors who make these wonderful projects for the improvement of the living conditions of organic cotton farmers in India and Tanzania possible. A second round of applause belongs to you, actually. So we accomplished our conversations with our project partners, and this leaves us a little bit of time for possible questions, because all these annual events that we are organizing this time, first time in online version, are there to enable exchange, direct exchange with our project partners. So we are good in time.
We had time to talk about 4 possible projects, but we couldn't talk about all of them. Maybe your favorite project wasn't among them. So if you have any project you like to get an update now, please let us know. While you might be still thinking, I'd like to give the word again to our colleagues in India to maybe talk about the fantastic success you achieved last year in the cotton cultivar trials. Vivek or Ashish?
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Well, as far as cotton cultivar trial is concerned, we are happy that we have already entered in the process of producing our own seeds, and these seeds have already been supplied last year. However, it was actually our first year to commercially, explore the potential of these seeds in the field, but we were hit by COVID. That made a little challenge to our quality of seeds, because the processing was partially manual and partially mechanical. We had to hand grade the seeds, right, because all the grading stations were closed due to lockdown situation, and normally our processing of the seeds is done in month of March, because our sowing starts mid-May until mid-July. So this is the time now. Already we are into sowing season. Already every day some farmers are sowing cotton, and rains have just arrived. So maybe next 2-3 days or 1 week time, we will have already sowing done. So we just a little far from me, but I just, excuse me, I'll just show you the packet. Okay, because that will give a little more looks. So this is the packing of the seed we have released. So it has got its name and our details of the seeds here. And this is first year we have given in this the packing, because the size of the seed production is slightly expanding, because as we are able to manage a little more of the parent seeds produced and tested, because for parent seeds every single plant is tested for GMO. That is little difficult task to be done. Also last 2 years there have been some weather challenges. Before last year there was a lot of rains in India, especially our situation. It was almost 80% more rains than average, and last year there was severe attack of pink bollworm. So we produce on different locations to protect it from such a situation, but still the seed parent seeds were very small in number for multiplication. This year we have gone a little further, and next year we might reach about 60 to 70% of our requirement of the seeds. Actually our target is for 100%, but I personally feel that the seeds production or development of seeds is one thing and adoption is another. So a challenge of adoption with farmers is a slow process. Sometimes as you introduce maybe in a particular region that don't perform well because of certain other external factor, but seed does not have any potential gap in itself. but suddenly the adoption of the seed decreases. So you need multiple seasons to actually to promote a seed and find a sustained result in the field, because the performance of the research in seed may be very different than performance in the large scale, because on research trials we normally make a small plot size with maybe 40, 50 or 100 plants. When it goes to 1 acre for 43,526 square foot, you have more than 4,000 plants in 1 acre. So a lot of external factors comes into play. So we are studying that those things, and also putting up certain demonstration with around 40 to 50 farmers to see that they are produced. The cotton is produced under a more controlled situation to see more potential of these seeds. So we are already on a good track, but I still think that another couple of years we have to wait until we are completely secured from the challenges, because we have two different seeds. One is Hiroseta, which we call American seeds. Normally in our area, unlike Tanzania, where only variety is grown and there's only one variety in one nation, in our case is hybrids, and every farmer might like to have 3 to 4 hybrids, because the risk is too big with cotton. uh, and also the other variant is Desi cotton arboreum, which unfortunately has only short staple. For our own production in Remai, we require medium staple cotton. We do have a cultivar available of market hybrid in Desi cotton, but Desi cotton also has variable production performance. So we are also trying out some good varieties of arboreum cotton in this year, to see that we also have some improved options, or also at least option available in case suddenly the supply of that one cultivar which we have availability in Desi cotton disappears from the market. So in totality we are on a good track, but still I think to my satisfaction I still wait for another 2 years, 3 years, because the challenge we have passed the challenge of breeding, but now we are in phase of adoption. So every year we might have a couple of more cultivars to offer to farmers, and some of them will pass, some of them will fail. The day we have 4 to 5 options available for farmers, which they ask for, then we are on. So that time I think we have to wait another 1 or 2 years. We only have one cultivar, which this one which they ask for. So we are producing it in more quantity. We do have 3 another seeds which is not yet up to the mark as for our situation, but I think they are close to the market seeds. But organic cotton farmers are facing severe challenge from BT cotton. So the benchmark is BT cotton. So we have to see the performance of the BT cotton and reach to that level, so that the organic farmers also have similar productive or potential material when they go for soil. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivek. I still do not see any questions, and we would have time to look into one more project. Maybe we could get some insights from the smokeless stove project in Tanzania. The smokeless stove project has 2 main objectives. One is certainly CO2 reduction, and this is an important aspect for us to do it, but also it provides many benefits for the families who have such an improved stove. Justina, can you tell us a bit more how families are benefiting from that project?
In Tanzania, in order to reduce the CO2 emission, we do construction of stoves in farmers' families. The beneficiaries include the farmer herself or himself, and her or his family producers. And to implement this, or to ensure the implementation work is progressing, we are We have stove builders who are doing construction of these stoves to the farmer families and their family producer. And also the stove builder, they are helping us to do monitoring of the stoves to make sure that the stove is operating by repairing, because you find this stove, since the stoves are constructed in farmer's house, sometimes you find our houses, because they are, I can say they are temporarily, not sometimes permanent house. They are thatched with the grasses on top. And then you find if it rains during heavy rains, some of them, they collapse and they hit the stove. So to ensure this, to have proper list or proper documentation of this stove. This stove builder, they are doing, visit at least twice per year to find out if the stove is operating or not. If they find the stove is not operating, the farmer, if he has constructed another house, we restore the stove again to that farmer. And any farmer who has any kind of damage, also we repair or we rebuild the stove. The ladies or the women, they are very happy with this type of stove, because the stove, it has two saucepans. So you can cook 2 saucepans at a time. And also the stove, when it gets hot, it gets heat, it loses the heat very slowly, and it cooks very fast. Also, the amount of fuel consumption is less. If you compare with our local stove, the 3-stone stove, you find it reduces almost half of the firewood which the women, they can use per day. And also, the fire accident is less, especially for children. Also, the children can cook on that stoves. So really, the women, they like the stove, and they appreciate this support from us. Yeah.
Thank you, Justina.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, then we are also very close to the end of our annual event. If you have any questions about how you can get involved in sustainable development and support our projects, please visit our new website or send us an email or give us a call. We will be very happy to give you detailed information. And now I would also like to hand over to the president of the foundation, Jörg Peritz, to close the event.
Vielen Dank, Xenia und Monika, für die Vorbereitung und die Planung dieses sehr interessanten Meetings. Many thanks to all participants in India and Tanzania, and especially for your fantastic work that you have done. Herzlichen Dank allen Teilnehmern an unserem Jahresanlass und ein großes Dankeschön allen Spendern. Wir sind sehr dankbar für Ihre Unterstützung. Ich wünsche Ihnen allen einen guten Sommer und freue mich, Sie in einem Jahr hoffentlich wieder persönlich treffen zu können. Auf Wiedersehen und goodbye.
Danke.
Danke und schönen Abend.
Vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank und schönen Abend.
Danke.
Danke.
Schönen Abend.
Wieder schauen miteinander. Danke vielmals und schönen Abend.
Danke.